One question I'm frequently asked by people buying property in this area is to which Guildford school should they send their children, and therefore whereabouts should they buy the property. So this video is designed to answer that question. So here are the top 12 schools in Guildford according to the locating.com website and local public opinion. I also answer questions typically asked by people when moving into Guildford, wanting to know which schools they should apply to. Watch until the end of the video to pick up some useful tips in applying to schools in the Guildford area and to receive your free guide to selecting a Guildford school. So here are the top 12 schools in Guildford. Number 1, Guildford High School. This was ranked number 22 in the locating website league table. Guildford High School is an independent day school for girls, founded in 1888. Around 1,000 girls between the age of 4 and 18 attend the school, travelling from Guildford and its surrounding area. The school has a sports centre just a 5-minute walk away from the main school campus. It includes an indoor swimming pool, a gym, a sports hall, fitness suite and a social area. Number 2, the Royal Grammar School. This independent school was ranked 37 in the locating.com website league table. The school dates its founding to the death of Robert Buckingham in 1509, who left a provision in his will to make a free school at the town of Guildford. The school moved to the present site in the Upper High Street after the granting of a royal charter from King Edward VI in 1552. Around that time, its pupils were discovered playing cricket, so this event was later documented as the earliest and most definite reference to the sport. Admissions are based on an entrance examination set by the school and an interview. Number 3, Tormead School. Ranked 66 in the locating website league table. Tormead School is an independent day school for girls aged 4 to 18 years of age. It was founded in 1905. Sporting activities at the school include swimming. A number of students compete at both national and international level. Gymnastics and fencing. The school competes nationally, and some members of the squad represent Great Britain internationally. The school has a music department comprising 4 orchestras and 4 choirs, plus a jazz band which tours Europe during the summer months and performs informal concerts at least once a term. Other extracurricular activities include the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, public speaking and debating. In 2004, the school team ranked 3rd in the national final of the English-speaking Union's public speaking competition for schools. The debating squad frequently enter the Cambridge, Oxford and Mace debating competitions. Number 4, St Peter's Catholic School, ranked 331 in the locating website league table. St Peter's School was founded by Archbishop Amigo in 1947 and named after his patron saint, St Peter. Number 5, Guildford County School. Guildford County School is a co-educational day school on Farnham Road, just 200 metres from the railway station, and has 1,050 students enrolled. The school first opened as an all-girls grammar school in 1905. In September 2004, the school was granted Specialist Music College status, designated by the Department for Education and Skills. Julian Lloyd Webber and Howard Goodall are patrons of the school. The school was then granted academy status in 2013. In 1977, the girls' grammar school became a mixed 11 to 18 comprehensive school. Number 6, George Abbott School. This school provides a comprehensive education for around 2,000 young people aged between 11 and 18 and is named after the Archbishop of Canterbury, George Abbott, who was born in Guildford. All students must take 4 GCSE subjects. In years 7 to 9, students are required to participate in 5 creative or expressive subjects: dance, drama, music, textiles and art. During year 7, students are taught one language from either French, German or Spanish. Upon going into year 8, some are given the chance to take an additional language out of the original 3. Some carry on these languages for GCSE. All GCSE students are advised to take at least one creative or expressive subject, which at GCSE includes photography, computer graphics and architectural design. Other subjects include history, leisure and tourism, sociology and physical education. School facilities include a sixth form centre, an artificial pitch and sports fields, a fitness suite, plus a common room. Bertham, Bushy Hill and Botsgrove primary schools tend to be the feeder schools for George Abbott. Number 7. Bertham Primary School. There is only one primary school in Bertham, so this one is particularly popular with the local parents and children. So it really has space for new children. So consequently, children tend to travel to Botsgrove Primary School, Holy Trinity or Bushy Hill in Merrow. If these schools are full, the local authorities are obligated to find you a school place, but it might not be situated in this part of Guildford, requiring you to possibly have to travel by car or bus to take your children to school. Number 8. Botsgrove Primary School. You can go on the waiting list for Botsgrove Primary School. Alternatively, there is St Thomas's Catholic School. Lots of children like it, and not all school children there are Catholics. Number 9. Sandfield Primary School. Number 10. Bushy Hill Junior School. Number 11. Holy Trinity Junior School. Feedback suggests that some children really love Holy Trinity and therefore see it as the best place ever, while some just take it as it comes and have an average experience. The school starts pretty early. It has lots of free after-school clubs. The biggest advantage is the school's proximity to Pewley Down. This is where time can be spent outside in outdoor classrooms. Bear in mind that the school starts pretty early in the morning. It may allow you to have time to take a child to another school if doing a school run. Number 12. St Thomas of Canterbury Catholic Primary School. Other local Guildford schools reported as being outstanding by Ofsted are Merrow Infant School, Pewley Down Infant School, Pond Meadow School and Wave Valley College. As a part of this study to discover the top schools in Guildford, I sought the opinion of local mothers, and here are their answers to various questions, plus their opinions on the various schools. When selecting a primary school, Botsgrove and Bertham primary schools are on the George Abbott side of town. Queen Eleanor's is on the county school side of town, and Holy Trinity is in the middle between George Abbott and the county school. St Joseph's School on Aldershot Road, and therefore on the other side of Guildford, is a Catholic school, so children are likely to progress up to St Peter's School, as will be the case with children at St Thomas's School, located very close to St Peter's. So ideally you want to rent your property initially to secure a place for a local primary school that will then enable your children to go on to your preferred secondary school. Then you can purchase a property in your preferred area, ideally close to the secondary school that you prefer. The 3 most highly regarded secondary schools in Guildford are George Abbott, St Peter's and Guildford County, which is one reason why they can be difficult to get into. St Peter's, as stated earlier, is a Catholic school, so it's biased towards admitting practicing Catholics. All 3 schools support bright children. If you feel that your children may be overwhelmed by a larger school, you may prefer Guildford County School, as this is smaller than George Abbott. What you want to avoid is buying in an area from where your children will attend a junior school, just to be well positioned for your secondary school choice. This is because none of your children's friends of junior school will then necessarily live within the catchment area of your choice of secondary school. They will therefore have to start secondary school without any of their friends. One parent knew of at least one family where a girl may be leaving her secondary school at the end of year 7 simply because she hasn't found a friendship group, as all of her junior school friends are at a different local secondary school. This issue could be avoided if you get into a feeder school for your preferred secondary school, as discussed previously, where most children will make the same move from primary to secondary school. Unlike George Abbott and Guildford County schools, St Peter's School has no catchment area as such. Many children travel by school bus to St Peter's School from the surrounding villages. This is because it's the only Catholic secondary school in the area. What are the questions I get asked by potential buyers? Well, here are the answers to those questions. Is Guildford good for schools? Guildford is home to 2 of the best secondary schools in the country, it has been revealed. Guildford High School has been named as the second best independent secondary school in the South East, after 97.5% of A-level students achieved an A-star to B grades, and 96.8% of GCSE pupils earned A-star to A grades. How hard is it to get into the Royal Grammar School? This selective school for 950 students has a tough admissions process that attracts those boys working far above the national average. There is a competitive, hard-working environment which has delivered outstanding results in both GCSE and A-levels and has seen 325 Oxbridge offers in the last 10 years. Is Tormead a good school? Tormead is academically selective and its students do very well in public examinations, but the school is particularly proud of the achievements of dyslexic students, many of whom have achieved high examination offers. This question is about applying to state schools, and it goes as follows. I wanted to clarify if it's an option to apply direct to direct schools, or does one have to go via the council? What recommendations do you have for faith-based or comprehensive secondary schools in the area? This would be most appreciated. Apparently those I've shortlisted, i.e. St Peter's, George Abbott and Guildford County, are very difficult to get into. What happens in the case of one's top 3 choices not having spaces? Can we homeschool and wait? The answer to this question was that application to all state schools is managed by the local authority, so you need to contact them to inquire which schools have vacancies for the year groups you need. If you do not get a place at your chosen school, you can appeal. Information about appeals should be found on the Surrey Local Authority website. But essentially, you would have to prove that the detriment to your child of not attending that school is greater than the detriment of the school in accepting an additional child. You can apply to more than one school at a time, of course, to improve your chances. Being accepted at a school may also depend upon where you live, as if you are very close to a particular school, you may stand more chance of a place coming up in the next year and you being first on the waiting list for it. If your chosen schools don't have space, you can accept places that the local authority allocates to you, which may not be the same school, for siblings it seems. Or you can home educate. One former teacher highly recommends checking the catchment area first I would definitely recommend state schooling over homeschooling because the social benefits of tennis school are paramount. As George Abbott is one of the more popular schools, there's a question here about the school. Hi all, we're considering a move to the area, primarily to allow our daughter entry into George Abbott's school. Is this school as good as the various statistics would imply? And secondly, how close to the school gates do you need to live to have a chance of a place? In answer to this question, George Abbott is a great school. It encourages students to be aspirational and to achieve the best they can. It has a really wide range of extracurricular clubs with excellent dance, drama and sports departments punching well above their weight. Unless Surrey County Council should drastically change their admission policy, you should be absolutely fine with an address in Merrow or Burford. The person answering this question lived 1.5 miles away from George Abbott School, and still the children were accepted. Having lived in Guildford for all their lives, it seemed clear to them that the schools in Guildford are very much the same based upon the end results, so you can't really go wrong in whichever school you select. Another question regarding application to the local schools was this one. We need to submit our application by the 15th of January and are considering many schools. However, I don't know the pros and cons of either of them after seeing the Ofsted reports. Could you please share from your experience which schools you have shortlisted and the reasons why? The answer to this particular question was that you need to go and see the schools in the daytime so that you can get a good feel for them. Also take a look at the Surrey County Council website. It's also worth visiting the school fairs to determine how they really are when they aren't all polished up ready for open day. The next question is about the difference between Burford Primary and Botsgrove Primary schools. And the answer was, my son has just finished his first term at Botsgrove and we couldn't be happier. He loves it. I've been so impressed too. It's friendly, has lots happening, with great facilities including weekly swim classes. They don't put unnecessary pressure on the children either. It's a big school but has a great atmosphere. Burford Primary was our second choice, but Botsgrove just tipped it due to the swimming and the feedback received from both heads who work so well together. Both know my son's name, which I think is very impressive when there are as many as 90 children joining the school per year. Go with your gut. We did, and we haven't regretted it. Another question about a junior school was this. We need to select a school for my son. I would love some feedback on Pewley Infant School and Botsgrove. And the answer to this question was, I second Botsgrove. There are fantastic facilities, plenty of outdoor learning, a forest school once a week, and also weekly swimming for reception right up until year 6. There are great teachers and a leadership team and a really great community feel. It will very much depend upon where you live, as catchment areas vary from school to school. My son has attended Pewley Down Infant School since reception and is currently attending year 2. It's a lovely school with generous outdoor space. Reception year children are taken to a wild place, an area on Pewley Down, once a week. Reception year has their own outdoor play area in school. Teachers are down to earth and friendly. They always encourage great communication between school and parents. I'm beyond happy with this school and therefore highly recommend it. And this question is very much a typical question I receive. We're moving to the area for southwest London and would love some advice on schools, both public and state. Tormead, Guildford High and Botsgrove have all been mentioned as being excellent. It appears it's quite hard to go wrong as so many schools seem to be so highly rated. The answer to this question was, whichever school you manage to get a place at, you will be pleased, as yes, all schools in the Guildford area are excellent. You are spoilt for choice. We live in Merrow and our daughter is at Botsgrove Primary School. It's an amazing school. Even in these tough COVID times, the head teachers have been calling to check in on our children. and so have the class teachers. The school offers a really lovely community between parents, children and staff. And here's one question for investors looking to invest in property in Guildford. I plan to invest in a property for my daughter and friends to live in while studying at the University of Surrey. Which area should I look in? And the answer to this question is that the immediate area for Surrey University is Onslow Village. This is a desirable area for those commuting up to London, but also those studying at the university. It has a mix of housing, including flats, family homes, and shared accommodation for students. Many landlords have invested in the area and prefer it to Park Barn and Belfields, not because it gives a better financial return, but because of the quality of the properties that you find in Onslow Village. Here, as promised, are some useful tips for applying to schools in the Guildford area. Guildford state schools are all comprehensive. There are no entry tests for any state schools. Best schools are likely to be full, although you might get in by appeal. Work backwards by renting a catchment area for the primary/junior school that feeds your desired secondary school. For example, Botsgrove is a highly regarded primary school where children tend to go on to George Abbott. The Botsgrove area offers properties ideally suited to a young and growing family wanting to live close to both local shops and the town centre. Many infant and primary schools in Guildford are oversubscribed, so your choice of where to buy a home may well depend upon where there are vacancies at schools in the Guildford area. Ring the admissions staff at Surrey County Council to ask where there are spaces to determine where you should buy a home. If you decide to select an infants or primary school first before deciding where to buy a property, then consider the following schools: Holy Trinity, Botsgrove, Queen Eleanor's and St Nicholas Infants. These are all regarded as excellent schools in the Guildford area. Guildford is a lovely town in general with excellent schools. Even the least favoured schools are good compared to schools in general across the country. However, because Guildford is popular, traffic can sometimes be a challenge during school commuting times. Therefore, be prepared for traffic if driving your children to school. This can be stressful, especially as many of the good schools in Guildford do not have drop-off areas, so you have to park in residential streets. This can sometimes pose a challenge. Open evenings. If you could possibly get to any of the open evenings in the autumn, this would be most advisable. However, if you miss the deadline to apply for a school, you may still be able to get a tour at other times if your circumstances are considered to be worthy by a school. You will need to talk to Surrey County Council about a late application. Moving somewhere very close to the school you want will probably put you very close to the top of the waiting list after offer day closes. There is usually some movement, so you would have a good chance of a place in this situation. And finally, here's some advice on the admissions procedure. Find schools in the area using the Surrey Local Authority online directory of Surrey schools, or check the school map. Check a school's approximate distance to your home on their school map. The way they measure the distance from a home to school is by a straight line. Review the basic details for each school, including contact details, links to the school website and Ofsted results, as well as admissions and appeals information in their directory of Surrey schools. Find details of their policies, achievements and exam results by visiting the school's own website or by reading their brochure. Check how many places they are offering. This is known as a Published Admissions Number, or PAN, and also how many people applied and were offered a place last year in the Surrey Local Authority school admissions booklets or on the school's websites. Please look in the description to find my link to your free guide to selecting a Guildford school.